Tomorrow, approximately 30 some hours from now, I'll be sitting in this chair popping pre-workout infused cocktails and opening pre-order packs and building my starter team. That's pretty crazy to think about, and I'm very excited. But a lot of questions I've been getting asked. What cards should I have on my team day one? Gomer, what exactly would you suggest? Well, I'm going to suggest just that. Cards that you should use day one. We're going to go over some of the top tiers, the best cards, really good cards, and then more so the budget options as well. So we're going to hit all three categories. Leave a like down below. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Comment below what cards you guys are looking forward to, whether it be pre-order diamonds, Team Affinity Season 1 live series. Who are you looking to add to your team day one? That being said, let's go ahead and get into this one. So we're going to hop over to game side and start out with the backstop, the catcher position. And, at the top tier, we have a couple pretty good options. Honestly, I think the best catcher at launch is going to be live series Yasmani Grandal. Yes, he's about as slow as your parents are at understanding a joke, but, the power mitigates that. 102 and 100, respectively, is really good. Switch hitter, the contact should be a bit higher. I personally think Yaz is top one catchers in baseball, and hopefully they decide to respect him. Next up, JT Real Muto. He is going to be the Phillies TA1 card, which I think should be really good. Things about JT cards, the contact is always pretty good. Mainly you get the speed and the defense. That's what projects the overall. So he should be pretty solid, a good option, a 90 overall. The Oakland A's have Sean Murphy. He is their Team Affinity Season 1. Again, a 90 overall. These cards are typically going to be higher end. And as far as Sean Murphy goes, expect higher power and good defense. Contact and speed, not going to be so much there. So I think those are the top tier guys. And again, something I want to point out, we don't know who the collection guys are. We don't know every single card that's going to be in the game at launch. So I'm working with the information that we have, and I'll make another video talking about it once the game is actually released. So on to tier 2. I'm just going to have live series Salvador Perez right here. Obviously, a lot of these cards are juiced up because it was the end of the year. He's not going to have 125 power versus lefties at launch tomorrow. But he should be a very good option, great offensively. I don't love his swing. That's another reason why he's a tier 2 guy for me. Tier 2 is going to be lower diamonds, and then tier 3 is going to be gold and silvers. So as far as that, there's not a lot of great options. Like, I don't think you should use Yadier Molina, not even if he was free. If he's your, legacy reward card, you might as well quick sell him if you can. But Eric Haas would be a pretty decent option. 35 contact is a bit yikes, but otherwise, the speed, the fielding, the power is all pretty decent. Mike Zunino, I think, is pretty solid. He has no contact against righties. I mean, this guy might not be able to hit a basketball if a right-handed pitcher threw it to him, but he is going to kill every lefty. And if he does, by some grace of God, make contact, it's going to be sent flying. And platoon him with a guy like Wilson Contreras, who isn't good against righties, but can hold his own against lefties. So moving on to first base, my top guy here is going to be Team Affinity Josh Bell. Now, he's a switch hitter, which is great in and of itself, but he should have pretty good splits. His defense is going to be ass, but, that's a Josh Bell specialty right there. The power, the contact is both going to be there, however, more so on the right-handed side. As you see, his live series is a bit more unorthodox. He has more power against lefties, but more contact against righties. But the Josh Bell card, I think, is going to project very nicely. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., his live series should be very good. I don't know if it's going to be a 94, but the contact and the power is both there. Again, contact, super important. Vision, not so much. The contact is what determines your PCI size and probably determines your success online as well. Otherwise, live series Freddie Freeman and Matt Olson, 2 lefty bats, should be pretty good option. One was a Brave, one is now a Brave, and we have Team Affinity Joey Votto, who should be decent. Typically, Joey Votto cards aren't that great. I remember even the POTM Joey Votto wasn't that adored by the MLB community. So I'm not sure what we're going to see. If it's anything like his live series, where it is so platooned it's not even comical, it's going to be pretty unusable other than a platoon bat. But the second tier, Paul Goldschmidt, decent. You know, he has a little bit of speed and pretty good fielding for first base, but he doesn't do anything tremendously better than a lot of other candidates. So much to the fact where a guy like live series Joey Votto, I probably wouldn't recommend over some gold cards like CJ Cron. If his card looks similar to this, I think that would be a good option. Gold Pete Alonso is always a budget beast, and Ryan Mountcastle is probably my favorite. If you're running a budget squad, 67 speed, very balanced, 59-72 contact to side is quite decent at launch right there. So that's my first base prerogative. At second base, we have another Team Affinity card, Jazz Chisholm. He's going to be my top pick right here. Again, does everything. He has the speed, the defense, and a fair balance of both contact and power. A left-handed swing, you guys know that's my fetish, and should play really well. His swing is typically enjoyed by the MLB community. Otherwise, we have live series Max Muncy, who's technically a first baseman right now, but he's going to play second base this year for the Dodgers, being Freddie Freeman's there, and he's my favorite card early on in DD every single year. I loved his Team Affinity Season 1 card in MLB 21. He doesn't have a ton of contact, but it doesn't matter. He just makes it work. His swing is probably my favorite in the game. Another option at second base would be the Team Affinity Tommy Edman. I'll be honest, this card doesn't super excite me. A super utility guy, a switch hitter with good speed and defense, not too much power. So take it for what you will. Tommy Edman should still be a 90 overall, which technically puts him on this list, but I think there will be a couple better options like I mentioned. Otherwise, live series Marcus Semien never hurts, good at pretty much everything, pretty well rounded. Live series Jose Altuve, he's kind of too short for me. Usually you'd like shorter guys because the strike zone isn't as big. Like an Aaron Judge, it's a bit more difficult to hit with. I don't know. Altuve I never have success with. Anyway, that's besides the point. Jorge Polanco should be a good tier 3 guy alongside Javier Baez. I don't think he's going to look quite this good because this was at the end of the year. They juiced his stats a bit, but hopefully he has a good year in Detroit. That's another thing to remember. These live series cards can grow. At third base, we're looking at Team Affinity Rafael Devers as the favorite right now. Pretty good, you know. The contact is high on both sides. The defense not super there as we're accustomed to from Mr. Devers. A lot of power against righties, not so much against left-handers. So you take what you get. Jose Ramirez, always a great option at the start of the game. The speed should be even higher, quite frankly, if they do stick to the word and have StatCast be a better indicator of speed. Otherwise, switch hitter bets against both quite well. You know, the contact against righties is typically on the lower side, but always do love J-Ram's swing, and he should be another great card at launch. Tier 2, Nolan Arenado, not quite as good as he used to be. The 15 speed is honestly a killer, but you will notice it hitting. You know, he doesn't have tremendous power, 76 against righties, so you're probably going to be hitting a lot of doubles. Well, rather singles with that 15 speed is what I'm getting at. Manny Machado, a good option as well. 40 speed, probably going to be even lower next year. Great defender. Just the hitting isn't fantastic, and his ratings always seem to be bipolar, so we're going to see what happens with him. Otherwise, tier 3 guys, Eduardo Escobar is always a great option. Switch hitter, pretty athletic, 66 speed, not bad. Good contact, good power for a gold card, that is. Chris Bryant, another decent option for you. And then Austin Riley, we're going to have to see how they respect him. He had a fan-fucking-tastic year for the Braves, but somehow he's only an 81 overall. Go figure. The A team at SDS doing ratings, it seems. For shortstop, we have Fernando Tatis Jr. He should be the best shortstop of the game. Currently, really good. You know, he's not going to play the first couple of months of the season, but it doesn't matter. He's going to be smacking dingers in virtual baseball. We have Team Affinity Corey Seager. This card is fantastic. If it wasn't for Tatis, he would be the best shortstop. Again, I'm only going over primary. These guys can play other spots. You should know that. I shouldn't have to tell you Corey Seager can play third base, second base. If you want to slot him in there, sure. I'm just going over primaries. Also, the Live Series Trey Turner, who's considered a second baseman right here, should be great. I love his swing. The speed is 99, which helps out so much. You can stretch those singles into doubles. Always keep your opponent on their toes. Even if you don't steal, there's always that thought that you might. There's the team affinity Frankie Lindor. Interesting to see how he's going to shake up. The speed is lower. The fielding is going to be high. So I want to see how they make his hitting stats. Maybe they're going to give him more power like his live series would suggest and how he played last year. Didn't hit for a high average, but he should be a top tier card as well. Second tier, Wander Franco. Pains me to say it, but this card is not that great and probably not going to prioritize getting him. We have live series Corey Seager. I personally think he should be a diamond out of the gate. 82 is pretty disrespectful. Again, he has a super smooth swing, plays above that rating for sure. Even if he is a gold card, I'd recommend him at the same tier as that Wander Franco card. And then we have Xander Bogaerts as well as live series Bo Bichette, who are pretty good options as well. I don't think Bo's going to start out as a diamond, but I digress. We'll move on to corner outfield. We start out with technically not a corner outfielder. I lied to you about the position thing. Cedric Mullins. I just think he fits better at the corner outfield spot in Diamond Dynasty because he doesn't have a great arm, which is pivotal when it comes to making some of these throws to home. So making him throw left third base or left home is a lot easier to stomach. I'm going to sleep better at night knowing that he doesn't have to throw that extra 30, 40 feet. So I love him. He's great offensively. Team Affinity Kyle Tucker is a close second. I loved his finest card at MLB 21. We have live series, a bunch of them. Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, and Bryce Harper, who all should be 90 pluses come launch. Judge has the fielding, has the power. Bryce Harper, hopefully he's not so platooned like he was this last year. Then Juan Soto, the speed is kind of bad, 45, you know. The speed's so important in the outfield. It's more important than defense as far as I'm concerned. I'd almost rather have my center fielder run and get the ball opposed to Juan Soto, but I digress. He's going to make it up for on the offensive end, though. Tier 2, we have guys like Tyler O'Neill, who I think should be raised up a ton in overall this year, because I think he's going to have another big season. A lot of speed, great defense. He does everything you need in MLB The Show. We have Team Affinity Andrew Benintendi, 90 overall, but I'm just not that impressed. Doesn't do anything particularly great. Couple pre-order cards in the Legend Pack. We have Vladimir Guerrero Sr., who was revealed today, alongside Ricky Henderson. Vlad, his defense is always very suspect, and his cards early game are never that great. Ricky Henderson, they just hate. I've talked about it before. He's one of the best players to play baseball, and they just disrespect him. He gets the speed, and they think that's, you know, we did our job. Let's go home. No, there's more to do when it comes to Ricky Henderson to put respect on how good he was. Otherwise, we have live series Mookie Betts. He's just not that good early game in Diamond Dynasties. Hitting stats aren't quite up to snuff. And then Mitch Haniger, Team Affinity for the Seattle Mariners, is always the epitome of a mech card whenever he gets it. Not bad, there's just better options. Otherwise, we have live series Kyle Tucker. I don't think he's going to be an 89 out of the gate, so it's going to be a little bit lower, as well as live series Teoscar Hernandez. Joey Gallo, need to throw him on here as well. His contact is terrible, but the defense is so good, as well as the power potential. It's kind of hard to leave him off. And a fun pick, Yordan Alvarez. You know, no fielding at all. But golly, he's going to hit some dingers, so that's all worth it in the end. Center field, live series Trout obviously is going to be the pick here for the best card of the game. He should have everything. The fielding might start at silver level. He's had a couple seasons straight of negative DRS, so I could see that being the case. Otherwise, we have the Team Affinity Luis Robert, the Team Affinity Mike Trout, the Team Affinity Ronald Acuna Jr., the Team Affinity Byron Buxton, and the Team Affinity Brian Reynolds. Center field is so stacked. Again, you could put some of these guys at the quarter position. probably going to want to do that. Robert, I think he's going to be great. The fielding, the contact, the speed. Trout, we've already seen his card, how it looks, as well as Acuna. Byron Buxton, he's got really good fielding and speed. The contact's a little bit low for me. Brian Reynolds, very excited to see how they make him. Switch hitting swing, as well as the contact, and hopefully a decent amount of power, at least on one side. Should be the righty side. So that's going to be center field. The top guys, then the pre-order Mickey Mantle, live series Luis Robert, and live series Byron Buxton are going to be some good options as well. Then in another tier, Ketel Marte, Cedric Mullins, you know, center field is so stacked. You're probably going to use your team affinity picks on the center fielder, so I figure you're not going to worry too much as these bottom guys at center field. Moving on to pitchers, as far as starters go, Jacob deGrom is going to be the guy. No shit, he's going to dominate once again the streets of ranked seasons, and I'm not looking forward to it otherwise. Corbin Burns should be really good, as well as team affinity Casey Mize, who should have a sinker cutter combo, if I do remember correctly, which will make him deadly. We have the live series Ohtani as well, which should be a 90 plus. His pitching has gotten better, of course. Had a pretty nice season on the mound, all things considered, in 2021, and the hitting stats propels him even further. The next tier up, we have guys like Trevor Bauer. It was a good pitch mix. We have Joe Musgrove, again, another great pitch mix. 90 hit 9 is going to play quite well. The team affinity, Alex Manoah for the Blue Jays. I don't love his pitches, but the hit 9 starts out rather high. And then live series Walker Buehler is going to wrap it up for tier 2. Then a couple gold picks. I like Charlie Morton. Logan Webb is pretty solid, as well as Sandy Alcantara. And one I really like is Lance McCullers, actually. He dominates for me early on in the season, or in Battle Royale if I decide to pick him. Then as far as relievers go, we have a lot of team affinity guys. We have Emmanuel Clase, Aroldis Chapman, and then Devin Williams. Clase is going to throw gas. He's got the cutter with the outlier, which will make him very good. Chapman, I'm curious to see how he's going to play. I don't think he's going to have outlier, which is going to be a bit tough, and his accuracy, you know, it's like pissing with morning wood. It's not going to go where you want it to. Going to be questionable, but it's Aroldis Chapman at the end of the day. And then Devin Williams, you know, his pitch speed differential's a bit suspect, but his hit per 9 cannot be denied. It is going to get you outs, plain and simple, by that nature alone. I'm also going to throw on live series Josh Hader onto this list right here. I don't like his pitch mix that much. He is essentially 3 pitches, the slider, a changeup, and a fastball, but his hit 9 is going to be very high. His ratings are there. In early game, he's going to be one of the best lefty relievers. Then the next tier, there's guys like the live series, Aroldis Chapman. Kendall Graveman, I think he's going to be really good as well. Blake Trinan, and then the live series, Devin Williams. So, yeah, that's going to wrap this one up. Talked longer than I had anticipated, but hopefully it was of good use. And this will get you ready for tomorrow night. Technically, if you're on the best ST, the best standard time, Central Time. We're playing at 11. You East Coasters have to wait until April 1st. 2 of them. Leave a kidding, of course. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed this one. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Let me know in the comments section what cards you guys are looking forward to adding to your team come day 1. And I hope you guys have a great day. There goes himself. Yeet.